What's up, Tailgaters? You're in the booth with Tailgate Nate today. Welcome to my channel. We got our final Week 0 preview and prediction video up for you guys today. It's the UMass Minutemen going on the road in Las Cruces to take on the new Mexico State Aggies. All right, couple things I gotta mention before we start this preview prediction. Thank you guys so much for the support on the channel. This past spring and summer, it has just been absolutely incredible. As of recording this video, we're almost at 1,300 subscribers. Help me get there. Subscribe so you're update on my opinions and thoughts during the season. Hit the subscribe button, ring the bell. So again, you get all the college football content you could ever want. But there are more ways than that to help me support my channel. Hey, you're doing one right now by watching the video. Guys, let's do more. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Do anything you can do to help support the channel. It would mean a lot to me. Again, whatever you are willing and able to do, I will greatly appreciate and accept with open arms. Okay, with the business side of things out of the way, let's talk about the UMass Minutemen and New Mexico State Aggies, two teams that will probably not get a lot of love this season, and two teams that a lot of people may think these are two of the worst programs in college football, but people that may not have been paying attention last year and during the offseason, I whisper that term because I don't like using it anymore, because really there is no offseason in college football. I know I've probably said it in earlier videos, but things change. New Mexico State made a bowl game last year, while UMass did add a lot of solid talent through the transfer portal. So let's take a look at some stats from last season. Again, I'm going to tell you what changed about teams over from season to season, but starting out with the offense for the UMass Minutemen, well, this was one of the worst offenses in the country last season. 12 points per game, 265 yards per game, basically had no passing attack at all, couldn't convert on third down, turned the ball over, allowed sacks, allowed pressure to their quarterback, but not with enough frequency to really put blame on the offensive line. No, I believe that quarterback play was the downfall of this team last year. What did they do to fix that? Tyson Fomacon, a former Clemson Tiger, Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket, is in. Carlos Davis is in. You do lose Merriweather out of the backfield, really good option, but Karen Lynch-Adams, Greg DeRozers are back, and some new pieces in the wide receiver room. Mark Pope, Anthony Simpson, Christian Wells to go along with guys like George Johnson, Isaac Ross, and others. So this, in my opinion, as long as Fomacon or whoever happens to play quarterback for this team does not let them down, this is an offense that should, I say should, substantially improve. Oh, you also do have a new piece on the offensive line as well in Marcellus Anderson. He's a transfer coming in, looking, according to ourlads.com right now, going to play that right guard position. But this is an offense that should drastically improve from where they were last year. Now, for the defense, hey, it was already a drastic improvement from where it has been for UMass in seasons past. Last season was a big step in the right direction. Hey, they only allowed 175 pass yards per game last season. Hey, that's a pretty good stat. You'd like to see that run defense get better. You'd like to see them generate more pressure to the quarterbacks, generate more turnovers. But hey, it's been an improvement from seasons past. And little note about UMass, they were one of the better third down defenses the country had to offer last season. Only around 31% conversion rate did opposing teams have on third down against the UMass Minutemen. And well, what did they do? I talked about the transfers on the offensive end. They added some transfers on the defensive end as well. Jerry Roberts, Tyler Martin, Isaiah Rutherford, Deshaun Jerkins, J.B. Brown, among many others that are coming in to this program to add with some pretty solid talent that is already there. So I expect another big jump for this defense in year, or actually, stuttering. Nate, get it together. I expect another big jump for this defense in 2023 and an offense that should substantially improve from where it has been in previous seasons. The offense for New Mexico State, let's talk about them for a minute. Again, you'd like to see them be able to throw the ball a little bit better, but they were pretty solid in scoring the ball. 25 points per game is not going to light the world on fire, but it did them enough to win 6 games. When you take a look at the offensive stats, they didn't turn the ball over a ton. You'd maybe like to clean up a little bit of turnover problems, and the offensive line did a pretty solid job at protecting the quarterback from opposing defensive pressure. So when I go ahead and I take a look at this offense for New Mexico State, let's take a look at some names that will highlight the offense for the Aggies this year, and it has to start at the quarterback position. It always does. Diego Pavia is an absolute baller. I really like his game. I think he could see substantial improvement this year. If not him, you do have Gavin Fracas back there, or a Texas A&M transfer in Eli Stowers. He comes into the program as well. Star Thomas is, pun absolutely intended, a star in the running back room. Maybe not a superstar All-American type player, but he is a very, very good option and should be a lethal weapon for New Mexico State's offense this year. Reggie Ackles does transfer in as a wide receiver to go along with guys like Cordell David and others. There is a lot of depth and experience in this New Mexico State wide receiver room. And on the offensive line, mainly remains it's going to be a fairly good mix of experience and young talent. You do have a couple juniors, one senior, a couple sophomores, at least according to ourlads.com, that is projected to start on the offensive line for this team. So moving over to the defensive side of this team now. Well, the defense actually was pretty solid last season. It did have a pretty solid pass rush, did generate 2 sacks per game, but it didn't really force turnovers and wasn't super effective at times on third down. However, only 24 points per game, pretty good number, only 336 yards per game. Those are numbers allowed, by the way. So, hey, pretty good stats from this New Mexico State defense that, wouldn't you look at it, the defensive back four in the secondary for New Mexico State does have a lot of experience. Torrin Union, Devlin Kirkland, a lot of other names back there. The defensive front seven is adding a lot of transfers, so should still be another solid defensive unit for Jerry Kill's Aggies here in 2023. So let's take a look at your what to watch for, or kind of some keys to the game, some things to keep in mind if you end up tuning in to this one. I think there's enough talent on this UMass Minutemen offense. I think you have some really solid options in the running back room, the wide receiver room. Added a ton of transfers that I think are going to fit in very nicely, but this quarterback play failed them again. No matter who it is, Fomacan, Davis, Olsen, no matter who plays quarterback for this team, you have to play better than what has been brought forward to this UMass program in recent years. It is just not going to cut it. The offense will not improve if the quarterback play does not improve. It is as simple as that. And then I've said it before, but the defense will continue to improve. They added again some more transfers that are really going to help boost this defense yet again this season. So I think you're going to see another jump in defensive play from the UMass Minutemen as well. But one thing that I do want to keep in mind here, again, big question for me is obviously, yes, can the talent gel, can the quarterback play improve, but how many transfers are going to play big minutes? There are quite a few transfers on this roster that are projected to start, at least according to ourlads.com. We'll see what they're made of and see what the transfers can do for the UMass Minutemen. Let's talk about the New Mexico State Aggies. I think Pavia, the name is misspelled here. Apologies for the graphical error. It should be Pavia. Apologies for that error. But he is going to absolutely ball behind a solid stable of running backs and a pretty solid offensive line as well. You do have, again, your good mix of talent on this offensive line. But I think behind guys like Star Thomas, Jamani Jones, among others in that running back stable, he's going to be able to take some shots down the field against a pretty underrated group of wide receivers around the land of Conference USA. But for the New Mexico State defense, you got to make the UMass offense feel the pressure. It's going to be an offense that doesn't necessarily have the pressure of a national championship or one of the best offenses in the country or anything like that, but it is a UMass team that is looking to see how much it can improve from seasons past, how much it can get better. And, well, the expectation is that they do get better. They added too much talent, in my opinion, not to. So make the UMass offense feel pressure, really get into them, really provide pressure to that quarterback. And in my opinion, the Aggies' physicality will just take over. They have a very physical offensive front, very physical guys on defense. That leads me into the prediction here as well. It's only an 8-point spread for the New Mexico State Aggies. They are the favorite in this game. FPI likes them as well. This is a 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time game on ESPN, wouldn't you believe it? So you'll see these guys on the big stage on national television, and I do think that New Mexico State is going to be able to come away with a win. Now, UMass here only scores 16 points, but they let up 31. Again, I do think you are going to see UMass improve and get better this year. I just think there's too much toughness, physicality, too many good players for the Aggie team, or on the Aggie team for the Minutemen to handle. So I do think the Aggies walk away with the win here in Week 0. But guys, that does it. Week 0 predictions are over. We'll have a day off on Friday, and then guess what? College football is back on Saturday. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching my Week 0 predictions and this video. Remember to play hard but tailgate harder, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.